All right, I walked into that 49ers locker room here at SoFi Stadium after this epic win over the Rams, and I've never seen Fred Warner as fired up in a post-game locker room as he was today. And he was fired up over that fourth down stop. I mean, you talk about a manly play from the 49ers defense. This checked all of the boxes. The Rams called that timeout before. They were determined to just put it all on the line with the run game against the 49ers defense, challenging them. And the 49ers were ready for the challenge. And just put that into context, right? Last year, the 49ers finished number 29 against the run. They got pushed around. It was a brutal year. This team, this 49ers team, when they were bona fide Super Bowl contenders over several of the years this decade, were one of the top run defenses in football. And it had eroded over 2023 and 2024. Well, today on this field, it stopped eroding. The 49ers absolutely stonewalled the Rams. Chase Lucas deserves a ton of the credit, getting in there and just blowing the tight end up, firing the C gap. The 49ers played a cover two play that I guess that they hadn't installed before, but they were ready on the back end just in case the Rams pulled play action. But they were just absolutely ready to man up and stuff the Rams and make a statement here at SoFi Stadium. And they were fired up in that locker room. You know, today, a lot of different guys were fired up. Kendrick Bourne had the game of his life, literally. 10 catches, 142 yards. His previous high was 100 yards on 6 catches for New England back in 2022. So Kendrick Bourne, when he absolutely had to deliver for the 49ers, delivered time and time and time again. I know that he dropped the pass, the third down in the first half, but nothing comes without adversity. That just narrowed the 49ers' margin. But even despite the narrowest of margins, the 49ers were able to make the plays when they absolutely counted. Kendrick Bourne picked up a lot of those third down conversions for the 49ers. And then Alfred Collins, you can't say enough about the rookie. You know, he just came out of the 49ers locker room not too long ago. And Alfred, there were some fans who wanted autographs right here. This is some of the suites at SoFi Stadium, and he came over and he was signing, and I said, you know, you're getting an autograph from the guy who won the game for the 49ers, the rookie, and everybody went crazy, and Alfred did a little dance. He said that he has size 18 shoes to those fans. I mean, big guy, strong punch, knocked the ball away from Kyren Williams. 49ers got a greasy win, as we said they would have to get. They followed the formula. They took a page out of the 2020, 2021 books and got the job done. Sean McVay, on his play call at the end of the game, it was a bad call by me. It was a poor decision by me right there. There's a lot of things we have to be able to clean up, a lot of football left, but I'm pretty sick right now. I'm sick of the spot I put our group in to end the game. Sean McVay decided that he was going to run the football and run it right at the 49ers, challenge them, and San Francisco was ready with, Alfred Collins. They tossed Alfred Collins into the game just in case it'd be a quarterback sneak. That might have scared the Rams away from sneaking it, actually. The fact that big Alfred Collins and that body was right there in the middle. Instead, they ran right. Lucas was firing the C-gap. 49ers in that cover two play. They were buzzing about it in the locker room.
Yeah, I mean, you could just tell the way that they had lined up that they were going to run the ball. You know, there was sometimes, if they line up and they're a little bit looser, you may have a chance to have some sort of play action pass on that play, but you could tell by when they came out that they were going to run, right? So I don't even know if my intention was to make the play. It was just to try to blow it up, make it muddy, right? And so, just amazing win.
As Fred said, there was a certain tenseness to the Rams as they came to the line of scrimmage on that fourth down. And you could tell they were balled up, they were ready to run, and that telegraphed the run play to the 49ers. That got them ready to just man up and stuff what becomes an iconic play in 49ers franchise history. I mean, you win in overtime, this decimated, against a team that was favored by 8.5 points, the division favorite, if you will, the Rams. The fact that you've now racked up 3 division wins, each progressive win has come with a more shorthanded roster. I mean, that's epic stuff that the 49ers have been putting on tape. Heroic stuff that they've been putting on tape. Consider the fact that the Rams ran for 4.9 yards per carry in this game, but they couldn't get that one when it absolutely mattered at the end. They couldn't get the one at the goal line here at SoFi Stadium. I mean, they tried to cross the goal line. You can see it right there, and Alfred Collins punched it out. It was one of those games where the 49ers stood up when it mattered absolutely most. Now, on the offensive side of the ball for San Francisco, Mac Jones, he threw 49 times. I think that's fitting to lead a 49ers win. Brock Purdy aggravated the turf toe, as we know. But Kyle Shanahan said that it's a week-to-week thing now with Brock Purdy, who was feeling worse coming out of that Jacksonville game than he was feeling entering it, which is quite literally the definition of an aggravation. So Purdy's got 2 weeks of rest, right, from the time of the Jacksonville game until the Tampa Bay game. But the 49ers have a very good QB2 in Mac Jones, who today, they went to that 2021-2022 game plan. I talked a little bit about this in Instant Reaction, but back then, when the Rams were favored, the 49ers said, we need to take the air out of the game. We need to step up and just nickel and dime them down the field, hog the ball so that Matthew Stafford and that dangerous, well-coached offense is on the sideline. And that's what the 49ers did with a 17-play touchdown drive early. They went up 14-0. They weren't running all too crazy efficiently. I mean, it was a little bit better in the first half. It ended up at 2.2 yards per carry, 33 for 74 yards. But there were tough, valuable yards for the 49ers in this game to get out to that lead. And then you got to the point where it was a no-show at the beginning of this game for the Rams. I think maybe the fact that Kyle Shanahan decided to rule out some of his star players like Purdy, Jawan Jennings, and Ricky Pearsall yesterday, 30 hours before kickoff, it might have helped lull the Rams to sleep. I mean, these guys, they weren't ready to play at the start of this game. It gave the 49ers a window to start chipping away with the ball-hogging advantage that they had in the football game. The 49ers then blinked when Kendrick Bourne dropped that third down pass. They gave the ball to the Rams. That energized the Rams. But this was a game of resilience for Kendrick Bourne, coming off the drops last week. So he bounced back from those drops, and he bounced back from his third down drop to deliver a massive, massive performance.
First and foremost, I just want to thank God for the opportunity. Last week was very tough on me. Just the adversity I went through and the standard I hold myself to and the things I want to do for my teammates, first and foremost, for the fans, for the organization. I hold myself to a higher standard. So that was tough. And so today it's a blessing. I just want to thank God. But the offense was awesome to be a part of. Mac Jones, O-line, fighting, running backs, tight ends, man. Just collectively we played well. It was tough for us to get in the end zone, but collectively we played sound, I think. Was getting down there pretty consistently. So just trying to play like that every week and just finish drives, but finish with points. I think we did that pretty consistent.
So Kendrick Bourne, 10 for 142 delivered. 49ers had so many other contributions. Given the fact that they're down so many players here, you can take a look at San Francisco's bench here at SoFi Stadium. This place really is spectacular. It's already seen so many great 49ers-Rams matchups, but imagine if the Rams were down Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, Jared Verse. The 49ers are down the equivalent. They've beaten the Rams. They did the same thing against the Arizona Cardinals. Found a way to beat the Seahawks, a little less shorthanded, but they've still done it. Only really, really good quality teams are able to do this kind of stuff. I would even go as far as to say that last season, the 49ers get blown out of the water in a game like this one. This season, they're getting contributions from all over the receiving court. Demarcus Robinson is another player that I talked about in the 49ers locker room. They went to him early, 3 catches, 39 yards. His one-on-one beaters early, I think, really set things up for the rest of the guys to deliver down the stretch when the 49ers needed chain movers as this game progressed.
I do know I love this team, man. I love the character of this team. It's hard. You got guys who are changing positions on a short week and having to learn an offense, and they just showed up a couple weeks ago. That's not easy. And, you got a quarterback who's fighting through some stuff and also, getting the nod on Monday in a short week. There's so many things that happen in this league, and I think, how I say, the NFL is the best reality show because there's so many different things that happen throughout a week, and it makes it so entertaining. But for us players, man, it's just you go out there and you give it your all, and whatever happens, happens. And when you're on a team like this with this kind of character, it makes it a lot of fun.
But we talk about those other weapons, but Christian McCaffrey remains a headliner game in, game out. He forced 12 missed tackles tonight, according to Next Gen Stats. I think that's a record since he's joined the 49ers. The whole idea that Christian McCaffrey has somehow slowed down is one of the biggest crocs that I've ever heard. It goes back to the made-up reports over the course of this offseason regarding Christian McCaffrey and slowing down. He hasn't. I know that the 49ers are struggling to run the ball. They're struggling to throw explosively, which is why defenses are gambling against that run. At many times it looked like the Rams were flowing toward where the 49ers were going to run before the play even started. But he has very limited room. He's doing what he can with that room, but he's a stud in the receiving game. I mean, you go to 8 catches, 82 yards. He's putting up wide receiver 1 numbers on a consistent basis. That third down out from Mac Jones late in this game to move the chains, one of the many very important chain movers for San Francisco. It's something else. Again, to be able to do what they did without the weaponry that they had, ask yourself how the Rams would look without Adams, without Nakua, without Stafford. It wouldn't be nearly as pretty as what the 49ers were able to put up there. Mykel Williams to the 49ers doubters. Yeah, we heard it. We heard that, but see the end result. So, I picked the 49ers to lose. I think most people pick the 49ers to lose. The fact that they are overcoming these odds, though, is special. It's okay for us to admit we were wrong. The 49ers didn't lose to the Rams. They hung in there. They found a way to take a game where they were not winning the efficiency battle. I mean, the Rams had over 7 yards of play. The 49ers were under 5. They ran 20 more plays than the Rams, though. I think that's, it's one of those games where they had to win by paper cuts. They couldn't win by the big explosions like the Rams were able to deliver. The 49ers had to deliver on a consistent scale over a longer period of time. Do right longer. That's one of the 49ers slogans, and that really came through today because they were shorthanded and they didn't have the advantage in this game. Now we could go back, and I've already talked about it in instant reaction. I really do think that Kyle Shanahan should have ended the game or tried to end the game when the 49ers were backed up after the Alfred Collins fumble. Instead, he played for overtime. Shanahan's explanation for that is, quote, yeah, it was tough. I definitely wanted to throw it and then end it. But when they had 3 timeouts and us on the 1, I really thought that if we made them use their timeout, then worst case scenario, we were playing in overtime. I was worried with the way Stafford and their offense was looking the time before that if you, number one, if you get a holding or something like we did the week before, that would have been bad. And number 2, if we gave them the ball 1 timeout, I was afraid they'd get a touchdown. So I thought that we would at least ensure overtime. So, Shanahan explaining it's still a very risk-averse strategy. The way I look at it differently than Kyle did there. I think that if, as an underdog, if you've got to play to win the game, try to make that play. I think that the 49ers made some heroic plays to make up for what I deem to be a miscalculation, but we shouldn't take away from the fact that Kyle Shanahan absolutely coached his ass off. I mean, some of the stuff that the 49ers were running early in this game, I mean, they had that Brian Robinson early run to move the chains using Christian McCaffrey as a decoy. Some of the spacing that Kyle Shanahan was able to develop for receivers who are not top weapons. I was talking with DeMarcus Robinson in the locker room saying, hey, once Ricky Pearsall's back, once Juwan Jennings is back, you're going to be operating with a lot of room. And he's just smiling and nodding, saying, hell yeah, I can't wait for that. So the way that Kyle Shanahan was able to scheme things up to put Mac Jones into the positions that he was in today, 33 of 49, 342 yards, 2 touchdowns. Big credit to Kyle Shanahan for how he called this game. I could be critical of the end game sequence, but I could also recognize what Shanahan brought to the table today. He outcoached Sean McVay big time, and McVay's the one leaving this stadium sick to his stomach. Now, Mac, I mean, you can't talk enough about 342 yards, injured many different parts of his body, it seems, like the knee, the ribs. We'll get the full injury report here in the next couple days on Mac Jones, and he was down on the field. Should have been a roughing the passer call on Byron Young. I mean, the officials might have artificially extended this game for the Rams by not calling that play. But boy, Mac, I mean, time and time again, he would step in and make the throw on some of those third downs for the 49ers. I could see if I could get some of the game stats here. Third down conversions. 49ers converted 7 of them in this game. The Rams only converted 4 third downs. The 49ers converted 7 of 18 third downs and 3 of 3 fourth downs. So they're 10 of 21 combined on the highest leverage downs in this game. 407 total yards. They didn't rush very explosively, that's for sure, but Mack throwing to Kendrick Bourne, throwing to DeMarcus Robinson. Remember, George Kittle should be back the next game too. I think that's going to really help the 49ers run game once George is back. And now, you head into October. This was the first game of the month. You head into October knowing that you are a bona fide contender. Like, there's no question about it. I think that it was clear after the game against the Cardinals. I think even last week where the 49ers almost beat the Jags despite turning the ball over 4 times, it was clear. But now it's screaming at the top of its lungs. The 49ers are contenders. Now there is no question. And because of that, you could be aggressive. You could go make a move for an edge rusher. You could go out there as the 49ers and be confident that this team's got the resolve, has the guts, and has what it takes, which 2024 didn't. Has what it takes with the youth, the young guys growing up in front of your eyes. They're only going to get better. You're only going to get healthier. You can't get any less healthy than the 49ers are right now. You could start thinking about pushing those chips into the middle of the table. Maybe it won't happen quite yet. The trade deadline's not till early November. But this win is monumental, and that's why Fred Warner was acting the way that he did in the 49ers locker room. That's why he was so fired up. They've got 2 quarterbacks, Purdy and Mac Jones, who are both capable. They have what it takes, and they have the developing youth that can mold into a truly, truly powerful outfit. And October leading into November ahead of that trade deadline is going to be really fun. I think the next little mini buy is going to be fun because the 49ers should start healing up. Even if they don't get Purdy back, they're going to get Kittle and a lot of players like that back. And it's still a long journey. This was just another chapter, but this is on the Mount. I told John Lynch in the locker room, this is on the Mount Rushmore of 49ers Rams games in this Shanahan-McVay era, and I think he agreed with me. Just the resilience the 49ers showed, the way that they gutted through it on this field here at SoFi. We've seen so much good stuff. The 8.5-point overcoming of the spread in 2020 and the empty SoFi Stadium now in front of a bunch of 49ers fans. This place was pulsating. It was loud. The 49ers are able to do it again. They keep on shocking the world. 4-1, best record in the NFC. One more look here at beautiful SoFi Stadium. The 49ers, second home. They've got more fans here than the Rams do, and they've won more games here than the Rams have ever since it opened. Another massive win for San Francisco at this football palace in LA. Everybody, thanks for watching. It's your 49ers locker room reaction where Fred Warner was fired the hell up.
Behind the scenes?
I mean, well, since I showed up here during the summer, he's been in the weight room every day getting stronger. He's been in the training room working with the training staff and continuously helping himself get prepared to ball out on the field like he did tonight.
The sideline when it was 1st and 3, and, it might not look good, but until they cross that line, they don't get points. So that was awesome to see Alfred make that.
About so many major players to watch, Ricky, Brock, how did you guys put together in such a short week?
It wasn't easy, but all these guys that came out here and made plays today, well, most of them were for training camp, and they went through everything that the starters did. They've grinded, and they've been waiting for their moments, and those guys stepped up and made the most of it. I'm really proud of them.
Are you guys used to this?
I truly, if I thought about it more on the sideline, yes, it probably would have been some deja vu, but I'm being totally honest. Like I didn't even let that creep into my mind. We were so focused on just taking control of what we could control, especially on the offensive side. Like the whole thing was about competitive standing. That was what we stressed this whole week. Was just no matter how long we had to be out there, no matter how many plays, shake off whatever just happened and just continue to focus on the next one. We did a really good job of that.
What was it like playing with Mac tonight, knowing how banged up he was?
I mean, we just have so much respect for Mac. The way he handles himself, the way he performs, that was just such a gritty performance by him, and props to him, and hats off to him because we needed it.
And then we on the temple.
You should have told us this last week. You should have told us on Tuesday. You should have told the media that.
I know they don't let me talk like that.
What were you guys saying about Mac on the sideline?
Oh, that man, he was balling. He was balling. Like, that was crazy. Like Mac Jones went crazy.
Yeah, Mac Jones. I'm gonna get a jersey for sure.
Yeah, I'll buy a jersey too for sure. Boy is a baller. Yeah.
What can you say about Mac?
Man, tough as nails. Just just an apex competitor, man. He just, he's one of those guys where, it's not a surprise why people drafted him where they drafted him, why everybody's so high on him. He has such a high ceiling. Just a really, really cool guy to be around as well.
You shocked by the swagger he has, maybe?
No, I'm not.
Maybe that's a Bama thing. I don't know.
Nah, you know what? I've watched Mac over the years, just kind of as a spectator. So I seen the swag he possessed. I seen the way he, talks, the way he answers the interviews. He's a very lighthearted guy. He keeps the mood light, but he's a fierce competitor.